The supposed truth as to why Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal is continuing.
Wow! Meghan Markle and her spare Prince Harry have struck an amazing new deal with Netflix. Or have they?
Oh my goodness, grab your teacups because this one is piping hot. You won't believe the absolute chaos swirling around Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal. Forget the fairy tale. Insiders are spilling that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex aren't exactly toasting champagne over this so-called contract extension. Nope. Word is they're trapped, yes, trapped, in what Hollywood insiders are whispering about as a content prison. Picture this. Meghan and Harry chained to Netflix, not because the streaming giant adores them, but because they've already blown through a mountain of cash. Now, instead of free creative spirits, they're basically working off a debt like they're part of some Hollywood debt collection scheme. Can you imagine? The Sussexes reduced to pawns in a corporate game? This is not the glossy success story they desperately want the world to believe.
Oh, look, I put some string around some biscuits and, oh, look, I'm crumbling cheese. And us all going, oh, wow, that's amazing. It's the second coming.
And it gets juicier. Reports say when Netflix sat down with them to talk future plans, it wasn't a cozy brainstorming session. No, darling, it was a full-blown financial reckoning. Executives, stone-faced, basically told them, pay us back with content or face the consequences. That's not a partnership, that's an ultimatum. And suddenly it makes sense, doesn't it? Why else would this so-called power couple keep pumping out projects that feel, let's be honest, completely mediocre? Specials, documentaries, stuff nobody's exactly begging to watch. Now we finally have the answer. They can't just walk away. They're shackled to a contract that demands they churn out content until Netflix gets their money's worth. And we're not talking pennies here, we're talking tens of millions. A source close to Netflix whispered to The Express that Meghan and Harry pocketed a jaw-dropping upfront payment when they signed their original contract. Massive money all up front before they proved they could deliver anything worth streaming.
That posse of pathetic sycophants.
Yeah,
Going, oh, look, amazing, look.
It's embarrassing.
Look, she's made a salad.
Here's the real kicker. They allegedly spent that money before they'd even delivered. Can you imagine? The only project that even remotely hit was their tell-all royal family documentary where they torched every bridge back to Buckingham Palace. The rest? Total flops. Disappointments that left Netflix executives side-eyeing and asking, where did all that money go? But instead of slamming the door and cutting their losses, Netflix allegedly pulled the sneakiest move possible. Locked the Sussexes into producing more, and more. They'll stay chained to this deal until every last cent is worked off. It's like being stuck in a job you despise, but you can't quit because you borrowed too much money from the boss. And that glittery contract extension Harry and Meghan bragged about? Please. Insiders claim it wasn't new money at all. It was Netflix wagging its finger and saying, we already gave you a fortune, now earn it back one cringy special at a time. That's why we've got Meghan's awkward holiday show that literally nobody asked for, and whispers of more uninspired projects. Forced, not fabulous.
Because they pocketed all the money. Duh. Like, I mean, this is kind of an obvious thing, but the reality here is, yeah, they had this Multilook first deal, right?
This twist changes everything. Forget the glossy headlines. Harry and Meghan aren't being celebrated Hollywood moguls. They're more like indentured servants to a streaming giant that wants its pound of flesh. Let's rewind to how this financial mess unfolded. Back in 2020, right after they stepped away from royal duties, the Sussexes signed that eye-popping Netflix deal, 100 million or 75 million pounds for UK viewers. At the time, it looked like the ultimate mic drop moment. Royals turned Hollywood moguls in a single signature. But what no one realized was that Netflix structured the deal to favor upfront payments. They handed the Sussexes mountains of cash before a single project hit the screen. It was an investment. It was a gamble on a shiny brand no one truly knew the value of.
So, brilliant. Another 5-year contract worth $100 million, yeah? Oh, no.
And the problems began immediately. While Harry and Meghan were busy sipping lattes in Montecito, buying a $16 million mansion, and setting up all their business ventures, the Netflix content they were supposed to deliver, delayed, canceled, or total snooze fests. Project after project fell flat. Remember Heart of Invictus? Harry's veteran documentary barely made a blip. Meghan's animated series, Pearl, canceled before it even saw the light of day. Archewell Productions, the Sussexes' supposedly buzzing production company, was supposed to rain down hit after hit. Instead, it became clear fame does not equal talent when it comes to making television.
Got a new deal is down to the fact that they already have pocketed the money, so they have to continue working until they've completed their obligations and produced more content.
The only win they had? Their 6-part documentary series dragging the royal family's dirty laundry into the spotlight. Sure, it was a massive hit, but once you've thrown your entire family under the bus, what's next? You can't exactly play that card twice. Sources say Netflix realized it immediately. Harry and Meghan weren't valuable as filmmakers or visionaries. They were valuable as tabloid darlings, walking drama machines. Their selling point wasn't polished content, it was dirty laundry. Their biggest asset? Their willingness to air the secrets of the world's most famous family. That documentary worked because it was messy, scandalous, jaw-dropping. People weren't tuning in for artistry, they were tuning in for the spectacle. And Netflix, savvy as ever, allegedly told the couple, if you want to keep working with us, you'd better lean into what makes you valuable. Not your speeches on social justice, not your attempts at wholesome lifestyle content. The world wants drama, and drama is what you're going to give us. And so, enter Meghan's new holiday special. Yes, the irony is almost laughable. The woman estranged from her own family, now giving the world tips on holiday cheer and togetherness. But here's the gag. Netflix wants that irony. They want the backlash. They want the think pieces, the tweets, the endless online arguments, because controversy drives clicks, and clicks drive money. Netflix, insiders say, set the bar with one chilling demand. We expect content that generates the same level of attention as your royal documentary. Translation: keep the world buzzing, or else. And they knew the Sussexes couldn't just rehash family drama forever. Bridges only burn once. So, Netflix allegedly began scheming other ways to milk controversy, and that's where it gets jaw-dropping. According to whispers, they started to factor in the one thing juicier than royal tell-alls: a royal divorce. Yes, you heard me. A split between Harry and Meghan could be the content goldmine of the century. And here's where it gets absolutely chilling. Sources reveal that Netflix made it crystal clear: walking away, not an option. Meghan and Harry had already pocketed the cash, so now it was time to cough up the content. This wasn't some equal partnership, it was Netflix looking them dead in the eye and essentially saying, we own you now. Sure, the streaming giant dangled a tiny carrot: produce real hits, and maybe they'd see some extra money down the road, but until then, it's like they're working a minimum wage job just to pay back an enormous signing bonus. Imagine being global celebrities, yet forced to churn out projects you don't even want to make. That's the Sussexes right now. And suddenly, Meghan's much-hyped holiday special makes sense. It's not a labor of love. It's not her passion project. It's a box she has to tick. Content to repay debt, not content to inspire. But brace yourself, because the real bombshell, the so-called extension Meghan and Harry bragged about, insiders whisper it's nothing more than a fancy way of dressing up forced labor. Now think about it from Netflix's perspective. They'd already poured a fortune into the Sussexes. They couldn't just write it off without looking like absolute fools in front of shareholders, but they also weren't going to throw more good money after bad. So what did they do? Genius PR spin. They let the Sussexes smile for the cameras, parading an extension, when in reality it's just Netflix saying, we're keeping you, but only so you can work off what you already owe us. No raise, no fresh deal, just the illusion of success. And that explains why Harry and Meghan were so desperate to trumpet this extension like it was Hollywood gold. They needed to look like they were still hot property, still in demand, when the truth was far, far grimmer. Behind closed doors, insiders say Netflix carefully structured this so-called debt repayment plan. No fixed number of shows, no rigid deadlines, just one condition: keep producing until the content justifies the original investment. Holiday fluff, documentaries, reality TV, anything that could keep their names buzzing online, and let's be honest, the strategy works. Netflix gets endless controversy-fueled content, and Harry and Meghan, they're stuck in what sources describe as a content prison. But wait, what happened in that fateful boardroom showdown? Oh darling, it gets brutal. Insiders paint the scene like a Hollywood courtroom drama. Netflix executives walked in armed with spreadsheets, line items, and receipts. They laid it all out, every dollar, every cent. And it was ugly. Tens of millions, gone. Blown on Montecito mansions, endless security, designer wardrobes, luxury travel, all allegedly bankrolled by Netflix money. Money that was supposed to fund actual content. The atmosphere? Incredibly tense. Netflix wasn't just disappointed, they were furious. Furious that the Sussexes had lived like A-list celebrities on their dime while delivering C-list results. Apart from that royal-bashing docuseries, everything else tanked. Heart of Invictus? A flop. Meghan's projects? Canceled or ignored. And when the big question came, where's the money now? Harry and Meghan, sources claim, had no answers. None. They'd spent it. It was gone. Netflix allegedly told them their spending looked less like producers and more like spoiled trust fund kids burning through an allowance. Can you even imagine the humiliation? And then came the breaking point. Executives demanded to know if this partnership ended, could the Sussexes pay back what they owed? Sources say the answer was brutally clear. They couldn't. The money was spent. So Netflix had one choice left: keep them working, chained to the content grind until every dollar was justified. It was no longer about dreams of Hollywood fame, it was survival. And here's the irony. The only reason Meghan and Harry didn't completely collapse financially, their scandalous royal documentary. That single series, where they shredded what little ties they had left with the Windsors, was the only thing that saved them from being cut loose and dragged into court. That show gave Netflix everything it craved: massive global viewership, endless media coverage, viral conversations. It proved one thing: Harry and Meghan's true value wasn't creativity, it was controversy. Sources say Netflix realized it immediately. Harry and Meghan weren't valuable as filmmakers or visionaries. They were valuable as tabloid darlings, walking drama machines. Their selling point wasn't polished content, it was dirty laundry. Their biggest asset, their willingness to air the secrets of the world's most famous family. That documentary worked because it was messy, scandalous, jaw-dropping. People weren't tuning in for artistry, they were tuning in for the spectacle. And Netflix, savvy as ever, allegedly told the couple, if you want to keep working with us, you'd better lean into what makes you valuable. Not your speeches on social justice, not your attempts at wholesome lifestyle content. Number, the world wants drama, and drama is what you're going to give us. And so, enter Meghan's new holiday special. Yes, the irony is almost laughable. The woman estranged from her own family, now giving the world tips on holiday cheer and togetherness. But here's the gag. Netflix wants that irony. They want the backlash. They want the think pieces, the tweets, the endless online arguments, because controversy drives clicks, and clicks drive money. Netflix, insiders say, set the bar with one chilling demand: we expect content that generates the same level of attention as your royal documentary. Translation: keep the world buzzing, or else. And they knew the Sussexes couldn't just rehash family drama forever. Bridges only burn once. So Netflix allegedly began scheming other ways to milk controversy. And that's where it gets jaw-dropping. According to whispers, they started to factor in the one thing juicier than royal tell-alls: a royal divorce. Yes, you heard me. A split between Harry and Meghan could be the content goldmine of the century. Goldmine of the century.